Hi guys, well the embargo for the RTX 3070 partner cards has just been lifted, and so today we're going to be checking out this GIGABYTE RTX 3070 Gaming OC. Now this is the third card to be released under Nvidia's new Ampere architecture, and while those previously launched GPUs focused more on 4K, this 3070 places more emphasis on 1440p, so if you're a gamer that uses Quad HD, this should be of interest. Gaming OC is one of GIGABYTE's run-of-the-mill graphics cards, which offers a subtle factory overclock to the GPU, and it adopts that renowned WindForce 3 thermal design. Being a pretty basic card, this one is going to sit nearer to that MSRP, so you guys can expect it for around $529 in the UK, $550 in the US, and in Australia it's going to be anywhere between $800 and $1,000. Those prices could well change, they could be different. We weren't able to get that definitive answer from GIGABYTE, and of course we're just hoping that there are no stock issues just like we've experienced with that 3080. So this should be quite an affordable option for you guys looking to upgrade, and so let's check it out. Before we begin, today's video is brought to you by Be Quiet and their Purebase 500DX. This mid-tower is designed and optimized for high airflow with its high airflow intake front panel and top cover. It comes armed with triple PureWings 2 140mm cooling fans, and it lays out some useful features for system builders such as USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C on the front panel and enough space for 360mm radiators, large CPU coolers and high-performance graphics cards. 500DX is also available in black or white, giving you that ability to match it up with your configuration and office space. For more info on the Purebase 500DX, please check out that link in the description. Okay, so here is the 3070 Gaming OC. So there aren't really any surprises with the physical appearance of this card. In fact, right next to the RTX 2070 OC, they could almost be mistaken for the same GPU. And so the shroud is plastic and it takes on the monochrome theme, which should go nicely inside most configurations. The centerpiece of this card is the well-known WindForce 3 thermal solution, which uses a triple fan design, and as always, later in the video we'll be pulling this cooler off the card for a close look at the specifics. And so the physical appearance is quite a lackluster affair, but that may suit some folks who prefer a neutral aesthetic. And even the RGB lighting has been kept to that minimum, with just the GIGABYTE logo being illuminated. That lighting there ties into the RGB Fusion 2, so you can customize those colors and the effects. You just need to install the software. Now this card is large, but it certainly isn't the largest that we've seen, so you should be able to fit it into most mid-towers. But here are the dimensions for those interested. The length is around 285mm, for the width it is around 100, and then the height is 48mm. GIGABYTE has 5 different models for the 3070, and some of those fall under the Aorus branding. This card here, as its name suggests, comes with a factory overclock which just affects that GPU clock boost. And so the reference boost is 1725, and with this card, that clock has been bumped right up to 1815 MHz. The memory sits at the stock reference frequency of 14 gigabits, but we do get 8 gig of GDDR6 with a 256-bit bus. This card uses the PCI Express 4 standard. It comes in with 5,888 CUDA cores, has DirectX 12 Ultimate support, along with Vulkan 1.2 and OpenGL 4.6. Now in terms of the rear I/O panel, this card here is a double slotter both in terms of the case and the PCI Express lanes. And on the back panel we have 2 DisplayPort 1.4s, those can give you the 8K at 60, and we also have 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, and that new standard there allows you to tap into 4K at 120Hz and 8K at 60. And so less ports compared to the 3080 and the 3090, but still that should provide plenty for most users wanting to use multi-display. You'll be pleased to know that the 3070 isn't as power hungry as its bigger brothers, the 3080 and the 3090, and so we have an 8+6 pin requirement, and it is recommended that we use a 650 watt power supply. Turning to the back of the card, we have a metal backplate which provides a bit of protection and provides some rigidity. The only ventilation on this backplate is at the tail end of the card, which allows for additional airflow for those cooling fans. On the back here we also get the dual BIOS switch, allowing you to choose between OC or quiet mode. The quiet mode adjusts that fan curve, and you can enjoy less noise by switching to that. Alright, well we've detached that WindForce thermal solution off our card, and this is what we're presented with. We have 3 80mm fans, and like other cards that we've looked at recently, that middle fan will spin in a different direction with the concept of reducing turbulence. All fans have that 3D active tech, which is essentially GIGABYTE's 0 decibel feature, meaning they'll stop spinning when idle. Underneath those fans we have a triple heatsink design, which has 5 composite copper heat pipes that have direct contact with that GPU itself, and that cooler also also supplies cooling for the VRAM. And if you stick around to the end of the video, we'll be checking out how efficient this cooler is. With that cooler off the card, we also get access to the board itself. And this particular model arrives with an 11-phase design, and according to Gigabyte, they're using ultra durable certified chokes and caps right across the board for better longevity. And the driving force behind this 3070 is GA104. This is the third card under Nvidia's new Ampere architecture, and based on the spec of the GPU, the CUDA cores and the memory configuration, this card is aimed at 1080 and 1440p. And so this card should take quite a bit of interest since those resolutions are very popular. And so with that closer look now out of the way, let's check out the performance of this 3070 against the 2070 Super, which is the Founders Edition. And instead of discussing some graphs on screen, let's show some actual performance side by side. And so for this, we're going to be going with 1440p and maximum detail preset in each game. And we'll be using the very latest drivers from Nvidia and using a game capture card to reduce any frame rate interference. We'll also have GPUs that they're running in the background to pick up on the max temperature, and the result for that will come at the end. Okay, and if we just come out of our last game, let's check out that temperature. And there is the max temperature result. Okay, well that is the Gigabyte RTX 3070 Gaming OC. Up against the 2070 Super there, we've just seen, it did a fantastic job, offers that superior performance, and yet we're getting almost identical pricing at launch. At 1440p Ultra, you're going to be able to experience over 60 frames per second, and in some cases the performance might even hit those triple figures. You'll also notice in Battlefield 5 did a great job there with RTX on as well. So if you're gaming at 1080, then this 3070 is going to easily breach those triple figures, and it's probably more relevant if you're going to be using a higher refresh, which is of course more demanding. Now the Gaming OC is a pretty basic graphics card, but that will mean it's going to keep closer to that MSRP, which is always a nice thing. The design itself is easy on the eye, it will marry up with other hardware very well, and the cooler is decent enough to keep those temperatures under control, and it isn't noisy at all. So if you're on the hunt for a 3070, then we can definitely recommend this one. Should be around $529 in the UK, $550 in the US. And whether we'll see more stock issues with the 3070, it remains to be seen. Hopefully though, we're not going to experience the same fiasco that we've had with the 3080 and the 3090. This could actually work in AMD's favour if it continues to occur up to the end of the year. So guys, what do you think of this card that we've been taking a look at today? And is the 3070 on your radar for upgrade? Let's start some discussion below. Let me know what you think, and obviously your upgrade plans would be great to hear those. For the web review of the 3070 with completely different set of game benchmarks, different resolutions and comparison to other cards, click on that link which will be on the screen in the description very soon. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel in whatever way you think possible, whether that is via a like, a share or a subscribe. Take care guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.